downtown Seattle is not what it used to be like. This right here used to be Old Navy, now it is gone. This used to be Anthropology. All the shopping right here is gone. This used to be the Loft. That corner right there used to be a big Starbucks. This used to be the Van store. One of the best smelling stores in Seattle, Abercrombie, used to be right here. Macy department store is no longer here. It used to be right here. Prime retail space right here in Seattle, nothing's in it. One of the thriving businesses in downtown Seattle is the smoke shop. Pike's Market is directly behind me. Ross just recently closed 3 months ago. TJ Maxx used to be in that building up above. That's been closed for years. Walgreens is just barely holding on. And probably one of the reasons Walgreens is actually still alive in Seattle is because everything is locked up. Prime real estate for a restaurant. This used to be Hard Rock Cafe. Rocky Mountain Chocolate used to be right here. A local Seattle gift store here in Seattle can't even stay open. This used to be Lululemon. This street corner used to be a busy place. Now this whole entire street is empty. It's not all negative in Seattle. Pike's Place is still thriving. You can still buy beautiful flowers. But I want to show you what a city can turn into when it's run by Democrats, when you have soft on crime policy, when you let homeless people roam the streets, drug addicts roam the streets, and drug dealers rule the streets. That is what is happening in Seattle. It's not like it used to be. Let me know your thoughts.
It's so funny to see some of these videos that people send me, and they say, yo, Anton, check out what's happening in Seattle. Check out what's happening in Portland. Obviously, as of the recording of this video, I just seen the primary runoff, and it looks like Karen Bass is leading Spencer Pratt in trying to become mayor of Los Angeles, or trying to renew their mayorship of Los Angeles. And as well, there seems to be a little bit of a race when it came to Democrats running California. But when I see these videos, right, this is nothing different than what I see in a lot of these cities. And when I went and visited Portland, I did stop over in Seattle, but I didn't spend an extraordinary amount of time in Seattle. But when I went and visited Portland, it was something similar to this. And what I will tell you is that when you are soft on crime and you don't have strict policies that hold people accountable for doing things that they're not supposed to do, businesses are going to leave. It's not just about how everything is messed up. It's also about the tax base being eroded. And then they elected that new mayor, Katie Wilson, and she's a disaster. A 1,000% disaster, not knowing exactly what she's doing, and she's being handled. She can't even have a conversation or explore a different question that's not already presented to her, or not being handled to where people are pulling her away from the reporters or people that decide that want to ask her questions. She's doing a lot of media training. You can tell she's trying to get up to speed on how to deal with the media and reporters, and people are reporting on what's going on in that city. You got an overwhelming amount of people that is running there from the LGBTQ community saying that they're being persecuted in red states, which they're not. They just want to live the life that they want to live without being criticized, and come out and have friends that agree with them, and they're looking to be in an echo chamber. And so what I see happening in Seattle, as well as many other liberal cities throughout the United States of America, is that you see businesses leaving, it's eroding, it's crumbling. And the worst part about it is that we now have the World Cup coming to some of these cities, and they're trying to clean it up and put a mask on it before visitors come in and company come in and see what they're really dealing with.
The first of the kind of new sites that we've been able to identify this year that we are opening, and I'm really proud of how fast we've been able to get that going.
75 units, 70 square feet, single adult units in Seattle's Inner Bay neighborhood, due to open ahead of the World Cup. It's transitional housing with wraparound services. It's part of Mayor Katie Wilson's shelter surge to create.
Now remember, when they first proposed this, they proposed 500 to 1,000 shelter spaces for basically homeless people, or people that are on drugs, or people that are displaced, or whatever. And when they say wraparound services, that means that they're going to be spending taxpayer dollars to try to convince these people to have some kind of long-term success of some sort. Honestly, They've tried this 1,000 different times in 1,000 different ways, especially over in California, and it has not worked. It has never worked. I would be surprised if these places didn't become safe havens for drug users.
1,000 new beds in 2026 to bring people indoors. With half of those beds, 500 open by mid-June in 2 weeks.
So you mentioned the 1,000 unit goal. Let's talk about the 500 unit goal for mid-June and sort of that in line with the World Cup too and the timing there.
We're not going to get 500 by the World Cup, but we always knew that that was a very ambitious goal.
Are you disappointed that you can't get to the 500?
They'll get 75, hopefully.
Is there a reason why? Because I know you fast-tracked it with legislation.
Like we set a very ambitious goal, and again, I think we were really successful in kind of lighting that fire that got everyone moving.
The mayor thinks up to 300 units online over the summer is more likely. South Park is the site of several projects underway, but we checked and no sign of activity yet. This South Park site, identified by the Low Income Housing Institute, will operate it. It's quiet. The mayor says it'll be home to a 90-unit tiny home village with wraparound services. And this plot, home to 70-plus RVs.
The mayor's promise of 500 units was aggressive.
We Heart Seattle's Andrea Suarez says in 6 years, her nonprofit has put in 65,000 volunteer hours, cleared 2 million pounds of trash from encampments, and helped hundreds off the streets. She says while shelters have a purpose, treatment first is paramount.
Treatment first. Find the people that want to get off the street and actually want more from themselves than living in a place intended for a lawnmower.
I'm telling you that there's so many people in so many situations, and I actually find this to be amusing in that a lot of people think that just throwing these up and that somehow, some way that this is going to solve for the homelessness problem. Bro, I don't know if y'all ever been to Skid Row. I have multiple different times, walked it, talked to the people, seen what they were thinking, talked to them and tried to understand what they need. A lot of these people are not even trying to get off the street. A lot of these people are basically they're being babied. They're being helped with drugs, with needles, with all of these things. They're basically being incentivized to stay on the street. If you listen to most people that are in these areas, in these liberal cities, they are not trying to stop the drug problem. They're not trying to stop the addiction problem. They're not trying to actually get to the core root of the issue of why these people are infiltrating these streets and being on the street in the first place. They're not trying to, when they say wraparound services, what we need to do is get tougher on crime, actually get the drugs off the street, prevent these people from bringing drugs into the United States of America, and then ultimately destroying the neighborhoods and running out the businesses, because now you got homeless people sleeping in front of the very businesses that people are trying to patronize. And you know, jobs are leaving, markets are leaving. You're seeing the Starbucks CEO saying that he was building something over in Nashville. It's very bad over in Seattle right now.
Living in a place intended for a lawnmower.
Downtown Seattle is feeling very empty these days. And the sale of a giant skyscraper here in the downtown business district is just the latest example of big changes happening in this city. I'm Jake, I follow the news so you don't have to. For this one, we need to look up. This is the U.S. Bank building in Seattle. And according to an insider with Bloomberg Business, Blackstone, which owned the 44-story tower, just sold it to Spear Street Capital for about $280 million. And that is, get this, less than half the value that they bought this tower for.
That's messed up. People are willing to take almost a $300 million write-down, a $300 million loss. That's not including the maintenance. That's not including any of that type of stuff. They're willing to take a $300 million write-down just to get out of Seattle. Taxes is bad. The tax base is bad. And now that they sold the building for as cheap as they sold it, here's the thing. Here's the real caveat. They got to pay less in property taxes now, which who do you think then have to cover that? The residents, because that gets passed on because they've already baked that into the budget. It's such a big problem. It's a horrible problem that people don't even understand.
Years ago, less than half.
Happened
This
in
sale
Chicago,
is yet
too.
another example of the persistent decline for office space here in the downtown Seattle area.
That's a big building.
I mean, there's very few businesses left. Carmine's obviously is a popular one, but it doesn't look like there's anything on the third floor. Let's go check it out. This is a major piece of real estate in Seattle. And there's just nobody in here. I mean, it is gutted. The coffee shop still pretty booming. But now this building is at the center of a sea of declining property values here in the downtown core. According to a report from the Downtown Seattle Association, the vacancy rate here in the downtown core is at 37% now. That means a third of all office space here in the business district sits empty. So why is this happening?
These are realities that other cities in our region and around the country are dealing with too. Hybrid work and post-COVID, all of that, right? But they're growing jobs and we aren't. Bellevue's growing jobs, Seattle is not.
A lot of Seattle business owners say this city has just become too hostile of a business environment. Taxes are too high, costs are up, borrowing costs, of course, are up as well. Of course, crime is a major deterrent for some of these business owners down here that are just sick of seeing it. And you have to mention, just the demand for in-person office space is also down these days. A lot of people just work from home. But with news about the U.S. Bank Center selling for half of its value, looking at the Seattle skyline these days, it just feels different.
Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure